It's a good team.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Chart Talk, episode 46. Going to go over the market outlook, some member-submitted questions, some social media questions, lots of charts going on. But first, Bennett, how was the weekend? A little fun in the sun over there?
I took a little trip out to go see Carl and Gina at the little compound in Massachusetts. Took the bikes out. Now, for guys that don't know, there's certain states where you can and can't wear like a helmet. So in New Jersey, New York, it's legally you always have to wear a helmet. So when you leave and you get into states like Connecticut where you don't have to wear one, it's kind of liberating to take it off and kind of ride for a little bit without a helmet on.
Right, because why would you keep a helmet on riding a motorcycle?
Of course.
Right.
You got a helmet? Oh, I've got a helmet.
So we do that and we get to Massachusetts. We pull up to Carl and Gina's house and they're like, "You were there with no helmet on?" I'm like, "Yeah. There's no helmet law." He's like, "Yeah, there is. There's no helmet law in Connecticut." So we were like ripping through Massachusetts, like through all these states, doing like 90, 100 miles an hour.
So hot. Yeah.
No helmet on. And they're like, "Yeah, you definitely should wear it." But no, it was a sick time. They had like 15 jet skis at their house. So
Yeah, I'm going out there soon.
yeah, I'm definitely going back out there this summer for sure.
I'll meet you out there.
Yeah.
You a little tired? huh?
Oh,
I noticed you weren't buying the dip today, so I'd imagine that's a lot of pain.
Got a little bit of bruising in the back when you fall off a jet ski at 50. It doesn't feel too fun. But
all right.
Great time. All right, so what do we?
Let's jump right. A little market outlook. Yeah, let's give it to them.
All right, let's do it.
We saw unbelievable reversal today. We got big time warning signs last Thursday. Who knows? There's a bunch of news articles you could put, kind of place this news on. You could say it's the reemergence of COVID, the second wave, whatever you call it. We were almost down 7% last Thursday. It was a top 25 down day in the S&P's history. And then today we open up down and we see the cyclical stocks. So we saw these names bounce towards the end of the week. The Boeings, the Cities, all the financial names and all things like that. So when those names started to come in, that's what really caused this sell-off, is that they made such a big bounce, and then they had to come in with their natural price action. They dragged the market lower. So today it was, this 300 area. Is this going to be new support, or are we just going to flush back down through those lows? And we held that very well, and it ended up being a great buying opportunity for a bunch of us today. So, now we're sitting on, it seems like good stock. It looks like we go higher from here after that pivot we got today. What are you looking at?
So I'll touch upon a couple of the sector rotation things that we got stopped out of last week. So if you want to pull up first VCR.
Yeah.
All right. So the last few weeks we've been talking a lot, about rebalancing, where for our members we haven't been looking to sell into the breakouts. We've been just continuing to move up our stops. And last week, given the action that we had, we got extremely lucky with the stops that we had in place for three major sectors. First was this VCR. As it got back to that retest of 205, we upped our stop. We got stopped out of some and took some gains in 205. Shaky, if you want to pull up VGT, that's the next one. Yeah. This was in tech. Again, same story. When we run up to that retest, that prior high, most think that we're going to break through it and just continue higher. But more often than not, it tends to get met with resistance. And maybe you get a day where it pushes through, like we can see here in VGT. It pushed through for one day, and then that trend started to change. So same as with VCR, we kept upping our stop in VGT, and our stop was at 270. So on Friday, when the market did start to gap down, we were able to take some off from the monster run that it had. And then lastly, similar story. This was this VHT, where instead of selling into that 199, 200 area, because if it did want to break out, we wanted to be in for that move. But if it wanted to turn, we wanted to get out and lock some in. So we also got some VHT down through 192. So those were three sectors that we took some profits in. And then if we're looking to take those funds and put them back to work, we could look at something like VFH financials up through 60.
Okay, yeah.
So that's just a little bit of rotation that we've been doing this last week. And then if you want, Shake, we can jump into some of the member ideas.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, actually, real quick, though, we got to announce the winner for the giveaway from last week.
And real quick, let me tell you what the real reason the market stayed up today. So this Nasdaq's been leading the market, correct? So they come up and they open up at this massive trend line, this momentum trend line, really. And this is what I was watching off the open. And these names responded very quickly right off the open today. That was the clue that we needed to see. I started buying shit right off the open again. And a bunch of people did with me, and we had a great day because of it. So nothing stronger than a trend, and this NASDAQ proved it. We're still in this macro trend. We got a little bit ahead of ourselves last week, came down, touched the support, and now we're back on our way up. We're still in the trend. Nothing you could say about that.
Yeah, definitely agree.
You going?
If you want to go up to the email, you can pull up the winner for this week.
Of course.
Getting the
Oh, I got some picks.
Oh yeah, you got the
Crew.
Yeah,
I got the crew.
got the crew
At the
pick.
lake house. All right.
Got the squad.
Bennett looking so cool, man, on this jet ski here.
You got-
That's it. All right. Winner. Chicken dip dinner.
So we got Cornucopia of Awesomeness. He had, probably one of the best comments. He learned from, you can tell he watched the whole video. He picked up on the books we were reading, the charts we were discussing. So he definitely watched the full thing. So we think he deserves this Kobe canvas. So
Oh, sick.
Cornucopia of Awesomeness. If you could just DM us your address, we'll get this mailed out, and maybe we'll throw in a tee hat and some patches as well. And then with that, we'll jump into the member ID. We got Joe Fahey looking at MNST.
Joey, my dog.
He's looking. Yep.
Where'd he like it? Yeah.
He was looking to buy it through 68.30.
ST 6830. Nice. Love that. Love it. Yes. Support buy. Strong name. Came down. Touch support. I mean, he bought it today, but it closed at 6880. That's what I'm saying. Now he's got great stock, and if he's wrong in this trade, if it takes out that pivot, he very sufficiently knows that he was wrong in this trade. But right now he's buying it at that support. Looks like it's on its way back up. That's the perfect time to buy it. Love it.
Yeah. But now for this, for him being in, you think he's had to give it to low a day to trade it properly?
He's got to give it to these lows, 6660 for sure.
Yeah. Okay. And then the other name he's looking with is Dell. He was looking to buy it up through 47 versus the low of the day.
Yeah, same sort of trade there. I mean, and I think this is the theme we'll see. If people are looking at the right things, you want to buy these strong, these names that were strong and they got pulled in by market weakness, and now they're headed back on their way up. It seems, at least with today's price action, we can assume that. But same thing with that Dell. I like it. 47 versus 45.50.
Yeah. And then
Keep it
next we
moving.
got Roberto. Again, another support buyback. This VRSN. He bought up through 204 versus 200.
Love it. Love it. Absolutely love it. Look at that. You're getting stock in the right places. So now when it's at 220 and people are like, hey, can I buy this 220 breakout in VRSN? He's selling. He's selling.
All right. Next we got Alex Smith. He's looking at ABC
Yeah.
through.
This one,
I think he got in though. He's looking to buy 95 half versus 92.
yeah, I'm all for that. I like this ABC a lot. We talk about it, seems like every week in this chart talk. Just huge, absolute huge macro base. It's beginning to break out of it, and now it came down after that first breakout, retested that breakout level, and is back headed on its way up. This is a more macro trade, so I'm in this one for long term, so it's tough for me to say, buy 96, have stop 92, look to sell 104 type thing. I think it's going higher, but I also have a wider stop on it. So I love this name. I'm not sure about his trade, but it looks good right now.
Okay. Next week, what else? This AXP. He's looking at it up through 104 versus the low.
All right, so he'll be looking at that one tomorrow. That one makes sense as well. It's a bit, definitely a bit wide to give American Express $7. It's like 7% of the name. So I was just worried that the stop might be a little bit too wide, makes that risk reward difficult. But he's looking at it in the right area. It's retesting this breakout level, proving its support, and buying on the way up. Love that.
And then lastly was the ZYME.
Zyme, yeah. How's that one? Okay. This one's a little tricky because it's been in a consolidation, and I'm gonna sound like a hypocrite now, saying like buy all these support buybacks, but this one I've been waiting because this 40 level is so obviously clear, and it's just failed it so many times that I'm not sure if this name wants to hold up its support. But this one I will buy through 40 still. But it looks good down here. It's a double bottom on the daily, holding support. Buyers proving on the way up. Nothing I could say. It's still good.
All right, next we got Anish, and he's already in GSK, so he's asking. He bought GSK up through 40.50. He has a stop versus the low, that 39.5 area, and he's planning to add through 43.
43.
Yeah.
That's just buy all your stock down here on the way up through 41. Don't wait to add through 43. That's the whole range of this flag right here. So I think he should just buy it all down here against this support level, not wait till 43 after break. That's just asking a lot of the name.
Yeah, definitely agree. And then the other one he's in is this BHC.
Oh, BAC or BHC?
BHC.
Okay.
So he's in from 17 verse 16. And it's a similar thing. He's looking to buy through 20.
Same sort of thing. He's just. I don't like how he's buying things. You know, when he's up, he's adding to a position when he's up 15% in the name. So just try to get that out of your system. Buy it all in one place when you think it's a buy, but like to wait 15% to buy more just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
So if he wants to buy it down here and give it to the support level where it's like giving it a buck, that's like 6% risk. That's a lot, makes a lot more sense to me than having these huge macro ideas about these names.
All right, and then next we got Will Thompson. He's looking at the CTXS.
Yeah, buddy.
He was-
Love this CTXS.
Yeah.
He might be in it already.
Yeah, he was looking to buy 141. So
I mean, this setup is still very much here. I almost made this one trade of the week. 143.50, 144 area is that like first resistance coming up off of support. So definitely, the name looks so good. Super strong name. Coming out of a consolidation, held up support very well. Now it looks like it's headed on its way up. Time to buy.
the other one, again, he's more likely in this, was this DraftKings, DKNG.
I was talking to him about this. He fucking killed this.
Yeah, he was
Hell yeah.
938, I believe.
So all these names, this is where we did really well today. I'll talk about this, a good trade, a bad trade. Remember we were talking about the cyclical names, the Boeings, the Citigroups, the financials, and all that stuff. All those stocks were gapping down this morning because, the second wave fears, all that stuff. Cuomo is threatening another shutdown, things like that. So all these Corona stocks, absolutely raged today. And you can tell right off the open, first 5-10 minutes, all the volume was there across the board, all these names. This became a focus for us off the open today. And there were things like this. He was buying this, like $36.50 off the open, and now he's sitting up $6 in the trade. I love it. Just looks really good. So that awareness really, really made a lot of money today.
Another one, again, I think he's in this as well, is this HSY. He was buying up through 127.
Yeah, this one makes sense to me. I don't love this macro chart as much. Just kind of a mishmash of, not very well defined support levels. But I see what he's buying. This area he's buying against, so that makes sense. Shakes out that those guys looking to get short this name. 127 rips back up through support, and you look to buy it then. Not mad at that. That's a good trade.
And lastly is this NOMD. Now he's already in. He bought 21.
Oh, what the fuck is this thing?
know.
This looks awesome.
But yeah, if you zoom out through 22 is a pretty big.
I like this. This is nice. Yeah. Hell yeah. 23 is that big time macro level, some resistance 22, and it's setting up right here, 2150. So you get some tight stock here, 2150, 2175. Give it to these lows right here. That's a nice trade setup. I like that. I got to write that down. Let's keep it moving.
All right, next we got Vishal. He's looking at TSN through 64.
Trade and chicken. Yep, that's just like that. All right, so all these charts look the same, where it's this TSN looks just like that Citigroup, looks just like that Boeing. All these, where it's like they have this level and they're trying to get back above that level. So if all these names work out, then yeah, it absolutely makes sense. So 63 versus 59.50. Yeah, I like that. Nice tight. Wedging held that area. I like it.
Another name is this GL. Again, it's gonna be similar story through 80. Same kind of chart setup.
Same kind of chart setup, but this chart's just so messy. And this 80 seems like it's in the middle of a range to me, where it's like true support is down here at these mid 60s or whatever it is. Then resistance is 90. So this 80 is just kind of in the middle of support and resistance to me. I don't like this one compared to all the other shit we just saw.
Then he had a question. He asked, "How do you determine the amount of risk you're willing to put in uncertain, in uncertain times? For example, today I had a game plan for many stocks since I got hurt on Thursday."
Where do you get your crystal ball from? Where do you get your crystal ball?
This is the same genuine, magic, authentic crystal used by the priests of Isis and Osiris in the days of the pharaohs of Egypt, in which Cleopatra first saw the approach of Julius Caesar and Mark Antony and so on and so on.
Huh?
Yeah.
Listen, I was in the camp. I put on a bunch of wrist today. I didn't take enough off last week, so I got crushed on that huge down day. So I was hurt. I didn't want to come in buying. But knowing where we were and knowing those support levels that I mentioned about the NASDAQ and the SPY, and knowing how butthurt I was, and that we're still in this macro uptrend, that told me that it was time to put on risk because of all these negative factors. Like I got shaken out of stock that still looked pretty good. The stock market was holding up. So I mean, trading is very dynamic. There's not one thing. Like there's no such thing as a safe environment. What's a safe environment? We were at all-time highs last week. We lost 7% in a day. Out of nowhere on that Thursday. So there's no such thing as a safe environment, or there's no indicator that tells you it's super.
No certain environment. Like there's no certain environment. Like it's always uncertain.
Right. It's always an uncertain environment. It's a fucking stock market.
If you want certain, you got to buy bonds, and even then, you still get smoked.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Okay. Don't get me started. All right. Let's go. Move on.
So social media
Fucking
questions. Andres on us for AP2 looking at cost for sport buyback versus that low.
I was talking about this with him today, and it looks good on a chart. It's a good support area, and we were all in this name last week. We wanted it to go, but it's just been pretty weak since earnings, and it didn't really respond that well today for what the market did. So that's kind of telling me this Costco has relative weakness. Like look at the SPY candle today, just absolute behemoth. And then this Costco is just kind of still clinging on to support for dear life. So, yeah, it could work out, but I want to focus on names that I saw strength in today type deal. That makes sense?
Exactly. I definitely agree. Next, again, it's going to be a funny one. sy.swole, his question was, what happened?
sy.swole, nice. What?
His question
What's
was,
question?
What happened today?
Oh, man.
That's your question. Probably shouldn't be traded.
It's okay. We're going to move on.
Yeah, we're going to skip. Okay, so this question is good for you, Sheikh. Luis _ Mendy. He asks, is tape reading indispensable when it comes to trading?
I don't think so at all. I think it can help, and it helps with more thin names. And when I'm like momentum trading breakouts and things like that, or seeing buyers come in, it can definitely help. It's definitely more of like something on my tool belt that I use, but it can also work opposite against you, where you think you're seeing things that aren't there because the price action's not there. You might be seeing things on the tape. So sometimes it can work adversely against you and kind of trick you into seeing things you're not seeing. So I use that as more of a confirmation to everything else I'm seeing with the daily chart, the intraday chart, as well as the tape reading. If that's all matching up, then it's very effective. But I don't think it's necessary at all. I think a lot of traders think they need it much more than they do.
Would you say like tape reading would be more important if you were a day trader, if you're a swing trader, if you're holding long term?
Day trading. If you're a swing trader, then you don't need to even see a tape ever. Some of the best traders of all time have never seen a level 2. Like they talk about. We always talk about this bullshit. Mark Minervini. He trades with no level 2. Like he doesn't need. He's just a pure swing trader. He's one of the greatest traders of the last 50 years. And so and he trades on a laptop. Doesn't he just very simply game plans: buy here, sell here, and that's the same shit we're trying to do from a swing trading front. When I'm day trading and doing like crazy shit, that's when tape reading comes into play. But for the swing trading, it's just not necessary.
Yeah, I get like a lot of those questions asked to me, and I'm like, the only person I know who reads tape or reads it well where it helps is you, and I can't think of any other person that does. And it's for the person who is trying to use it. It's like, okay, you're using Robinhood, you're buying like 10 or 15 shares. Like it's gonna take you 5 years before you even realize like who's down ticking, who's up ticking, who's limiting out, you're not going to know any of these things. You're going to see just numbers flashing on the screen. You're going to think, like you said, you're going to see that mirage. You're going to, you're going to find that one big buyer and think it's going to go up when, it could be just shorts covering.
But you know what I was thinking? What we should do at the next TE event? You remember the aftermarket trainings we had with our first boss? When he would fucking put it up on the big screen and be like, and you'd have to stand in front of everyone and the tape would just be going and be like, all right, no, it's a bit, there's the buyer. All right, it's about to rip it. We should do that at the next TE event. That's how you'll get me to go on these bullshit trips.
All right. Well, then I think you'd have to record, like you'd have to screen record like a level 2 of something, and then we can
I could do that.
Yeah.
I could do all of that.
do it.
I can make things happen. Anything.
We could do it next time. I'm down. All right, so let's see. We can jump into good trade now. We'll start with Roberto with AMD. If you want to pull that chart up.
Yeah. What's up? What's his trade?
AMD.
No, yeah. What did he say the trade was? Does he say it?
So.
Oh, he's got the chart
Yeah.
typed up. Sorry. Okay. Oh, perfect. Okay. So, do you want to talk about it?
Now you can walk him through because I know you were in AMD as well, so you're.
Yeah. I pretty much had the same trade as him, except I didn't move my stop up like he did. So that we had this killer entry AMD. We kicked some day one. I don't know how much he kicked, but then I got down to I kicked 1/3 into this second kick, like a total of 1/3, where he said kick 2. Then I held 2. I'm still in this trade. I kept my original stop below here, and that's the only difference. That's why I'm still in the trade. But I mean, he made money. He gave a little bit back. I don't really get his trailing stop. I get it, put that intraday low in, and kind of made that new low. But I mean, we're all in this one. I'm still in this one. I think it's still fine on the daily chart. But I mean, good trade. He got the kick 1, kick 2 off, and then got stopped out. He probably made money in the trade.
Yeah.
Can't be mad.
I think for his stop out, he was probably just going by the 15-minute rule. I think he probably just gapped down. He put a stop below that low. And
Oh,
then
that makes sense. Yeah, definitely.
got ticked out.
Definitely.
Next, we can jump into Vishal. The first one was the CHRW.
Okay.
Let's see. So he was.
That's a good trade. Very good trade.
Yeah. So he was.
Yeah, let me just talk about it
Yeah.
on the daily chart, so I can get it up. All right, so he bought right here. He bought this little breakout right here. What is that, 75 beans? Trail. It gives you this this weekday at highs here. We see the 8-day simple moving average come, and he got stopped out at this little area right here. It's a great trade. You couldn't have traded this name better, actually. Great trade. Very, very good.
And that was okay.
Right.
So that was it for the member good trades. Little quiet this week, guys. I wonder why.
Yeah, it was off the open today. It was just me. I was about to type like, I guess I'm just trading myself today. I just started calling everything out. I was like, Etsy's next. Nah, Peloton's coming. Fucking murdered it.
All right.
Shouts out to me today. I'm patting myself on the back today. No one wants to trade when you get smoked. All right, but when it's time to buy, who's there?
You're there, Shake. All right, so Shake, you want to go over some of your good trades?
Yeah, let me go over the bad ones first. I got stopped out of a lot of stuff Thursday, Friday. It hurt a lot. This AMD, I gave so much profit back. I didn't get stopped out, but I mean, I was sitting on such a massive position, and it pulled in from 59 all the way back down to 52. It fucking killed P&L wise. But stuck to the game plan. Still in this one, that was good. And most of the names you'll see, like I got stopped out of. So frustrating. They're all bouncing back well today. This light bounced back super well. I got stopped out. I bought here and got stopped out, like a week later in a pretty similar fashion. But I got a third off into these highs, this 80 area. This light, though, this has a big pattern emerging. I don't know where it's going to break, up or down, but it's going to break one way really hard. I'm tracking that one. What else was there? Oh, God, Square. Oh, my God, Square killed me. So Heaven got me in the Square like a week ago from this little area. We could see this massive base. Hot name. We buy this breakout right here. Just give it like $2, 84 versus 82. Kick some off. And then last week I re-added. I got to massive size. And the Fed day came out and it looked so strong. And the Fed news was like seemingly good before it all broke down. So long. And then I just get stopped out in the next 2 days on the down move. Absolutely rips today. It's back up. That's a killer. I didn't look to buy that one back. I was focused elsewhere. And then GH is kind of the same thing where it's like I was buying down here by support, and then I just got stopped out on the weekday on that Thursday, and now name's bouncing back. So we have a lot of that theme. And then the good trades were today. So like I mentioned before, this was the thesis coming into today, and it wasn't like I was hyping myself up about these names over the weekend. It just was like we walked into pre-market, all the cyclical names were down, the Boeing, the cities, and the market was gapping down on corona fears type thing. So, and then we looked and we saw the Pelotons of the world, they were all up. Like these names were gapping up. Peloton, Etsy, what are all the names? Teladoc, Zoom Video, DraftKings. Oh, DraftKings was gapping down. That was a great buy. And then Shopify was the other one. Shopify had this big deal with Walmart today. So we saw all those corona names that were previously the hottest names. Then we saw them cool off for a few weeks as those cyclical names get back. And then today was the day we saw them strong again. So I bought this Etsy right off the open. That gave us 5% today. I bought this Peloton right off the open. That gave us 6% today. What else? And then when it's hot, it's hot. It was so cold a week ago. MNTA. I've been sitting in this MNTA since this day right here, just giving it to below this pivot, just kind of like chopping along, because if you look at this monthly chart, it's trying to take out this level from 2005, like massive monthly chart. Then what happens today, we're sitting here, we're just like, hey, it looks pretty good for a support buy. All of a sudden, you look intraday, thing goes absolutely vertical, goes up 20% in 30 minutes on some FDA news, and that's how it takes out this massive 35, 36 area level. So this one looks pretty good going forward. I don't even, there was some drug news. It didn't seem like crazy news to me, but the stock responded very well from it. And then, and I'm still just sitting in names that have been treating me well. The Snapchat, this Micron, I still have a little bit left. I still have a little bit of Intel. I'm looking to add tomorrow possibly. So just those 40 trades. What do you got?
So if you want to pull, I sent you some charts. So if you want to pull up ABC, would be the first one that'll start it.
Yay. ABC, my dog.
Yeah, so
There you
ABC,
go.
ABC was one. Again, a lot of us have been in. You put 100 people in a trade, they're all going to trade differently. This is one we all pretty much bought up off 84. I was trailing, I got stopped out. I believe it was on Thursday at 71 risk reward. Just rode the meat of that little move. I'm out. If it sits back up, I'll definitely get back in. Next was GD. This was another big picture swing idea that we bought up through 142. Just trailed it. Got stopped out, I believe on Wednesday or Thursday, down through.
No, that was Wednesday. That's a great trade, though.
Yeah, that was like, I just had that, 159.99 stop, got stopped out, and basically the difference between a 5-to-1 trade or break even was the difference of,
Right.
just moving that,
Yeah.
continue to trail that stop. Next we got HCA. It was a break even trade, trying to sneak in before that 115 half, 116 area, just wasn't ready. Break even stop, didn't lose much. Now it's back near support, near 96. But
See, like now it's more attractive. Like today
Oh,
would have
yeah.
been a good entry for it. Yeah.
100%.
But
And-
your arms are tired. You're too cool out there, Who is there? Who is there?
We're there, Shake.
Is there no one else? Is there no one else?
And then next was this MDT, again, very similar to HCA, very similar chart. Same thing, break-even trade. But again, now it's near support. I would still take that HCA over the MDT. Next, we got MRK, another swing that we bought up on support.
Wow,
Back
that's a
in-
nice stop out.
And yeah, again, just simple trailing, just buying up off support, moving those stops up. We originally had it. Once it gapped up, we had to stop for 78. Then we moved it up to 80, and then I got stopped at like 81, and it completely reversed that move. And now I'll look to buy up through 76, or if it continues to head lower, we'll see if it gets down into like the higher 60s. And then MSFT, this is a name, again, same story. We bought through that little breakout area.
Those prior
But again,
highs, yeah.
in the back of my mind going into last week was, as we get back to this retest of all these major prior highs, sure you can get that 1 or 2 day push through it to get everyone who's going to chase, but the steam tends to get lost, so the sugar high kind of wears off after that last little push up. Just like a week ago, everyone was talking about airlines. Now no one's talking about them because they've all pulled back lower than where they've been.
Right.
So that was kind of the back of my head where I just, my big focus last week was just upping these stops. And, it got me out of a lot of positions, some for winners, some for break even, and I don't really regret any of those stop outs. And then lastly was, okay, next up we got Oracle. This is a name that we've been watching for, months now. We bought the 54. I got out break even, but it's still technically fine. It didn't break support. It's still held 51. So it's still in that flag. It just wasn't ready for when we were in it. And
They
then,
have earnings tomorrow after the close up.
yeah, I feel like that was the thing. Like, it's just waiting for earnings.
It's just waiting for earnings.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
So-
such a big catalyst coming up. It makes sense.
So this is like
Such a massive company.
Do you know if they're reporting before they open or after hours?
They're tech, so I imagine they're after.
Okay. So this is an idea where, not to after tomorrow's close, if you want to buy it up through 55, if the catalyst was to push it through 55, this would be a time where I put in like a 55.05 limit buy stop. So if it gaps, up and opens up the following date up through 55, I'll be in it. But if they gap it to say 57 or 58, I don't get stuck, buying 5-6 points
Yeah,
higher.
stop limit. That's they're after the close Tuesday, so Wednesday morning.
So,
we'll have
yeah.
this discussion.
Yeah, so we'll follow this up next week. And then the last trade, which was wildly lucky, was this UAL. As much as we hate these airlines, this was like probably one of my luckiest trades this year. Bought it earlier through 32, way back like middle of March, right, kind of near the end of the the market, bear market correction, what have you. It continued to set up to 32. I added back through it, and we caught that quick little 2-3 day move. And I never have limit sell orders. 99.99% of the time, I always have like a trailing stop. But this was a name that I just threw a limit sell order where if there was something crazy was going to happen, it would just kind of take me out. And looking at the chart, the gap fill was in that 49.50 area, so I just randomly had that 48.89 limit sell order. And it got me out of like 90% of the stock that I had, and the high day was 48.95, I think. And then the next day, I just got stopped out below, that 44. So that was like an extremely lucky trade, but that's something that,
All right. You gotta have your orders out. You have those orders out, you get lucky.
yeah, sometimes you do.
Luck happens to those who put themselves in those situations.
In the position to make money, like that was.
Position to make money. There you go. Yeah.
All right, so I think we wrapped everything up except for top idea.
Yeah. What's yours? I mean, I kind of got into my shit today. I like these, like the Etsy's and things like that. What do you got?
So the one,
I got a couple.
The
but-
one like macro chart is this SAIC up through like this 92, 96 area. But
Tesla, right?
what's that?
You said this science applications last week on Chart Talk. You said it reminded you of Tesla 400.
Oh, yeah,
So now the people want to know: is science applications going to 1,000?
definitely not. No.
Okay.
No. I retract that statement. But again, the bigger levels like the 92, 96 area. But again, we don't really want to be buying that exactly to be perfect. Where as it's been kind of coming down into a support area, this would be one. If it holds here, we buy through 84 versus 80. If it still heads lower, the real next area is like 76. So if this does continue to come down into support, this could be a name that we can kind of buy on the way up to be in and ready for that bigger breakout down the road.
Okay. I like that. No, I mean that's a great level. I'm just fucking with you.
I know.
The two things I went through my charts quick. There's ALLK. Just coming out of a nice consolidation here. Looks like it might be ready soon. Nice little wedging action. So I'm looking at that one through 75-ish. What's the other one? Shouts out to Carly B. H-Cat. This motherfucker was in my DMs every day. You buy some H-Cat? You buy some H-Cat? If I fucking bought some H-Cat like right after earnings a few weeks ago, and now it finally looks ready. This thing looks good. This thing could have some legs out through this 30 area. The problem was I didn't want to talk about it. So I got it in my long-term account. It's like I'm just letting it rock. I'm not overwatching it. And now it's going to become like Yeti, you know? But no, this looks really, really good through 30. There's a bunch out there. If this market's pivoting for a move higher, then there should be some good opportunity this week.
Yeah. Speaking of Yeti, I just typed it up. I can't believe this thing's back at highs already.
Back at highs, yeah. I got some of the long-termer. I'm just not going to fucking mention it. But this was when I had it from 30, and then I was down at like, it was down at 15, 16, whatever those lows were. And it's just like, oh my God, God, garbage. But we wrote it out. We're back.
Yeah, we're back. All right, so let's jump into book of the week.
All right, book of the week. Bennett, what you got for me?
Since we just started our own Etsy page to sell those snapbacks and everything
Yeah,
else.
I'm so long Etsy stock today too. Woo!
Yeah.
All right, go on.
So yeah, I picked up a little Etsy book.
Smart.
How to create a listing, how to create better titles, better tags. So you can tell between the listing you made of the TE patch versus the listing that I made of the TE hat. Little different quality.
Any way you could, sneak a cheap shot in there, huh? You gonna do it? All right. I'll remember that. I'll write that down. Mental note.
What about you? What are you reading?
It's called The Art of Execution. We read this one a while back. And you know how we always say things like you give 50 guys the same trade setup and they're going to trade it 50 different ways. That's kind of what this book goes into. It talks about how to manage big trades and small trades and things like that and the mental aspects behind it. And it also goes into poker stories, business stories. Very well-rounded book and it has a lot to do with trading too. And it's kind of one of those books that's good for beginners and super advanced people. It just kind of encompasses the whole crowd. So I like this one a lot. Art of Execution.
Nice. Got some good books this week. I think we wrapped it up.
Yeah. Let's Let's get this show on the road.
Guys. Till next week. Good luck.
Next
Happy
week.
trading.
See, this is a good team.